Hey, what's up, everybody? This is going to be a PWG review of Card Subject to Change 3. I know this show hasn't got a lot of buzz, and this is a pretty late review, so I promise I'll try to make this as quick as possible. But yeah, while I'm on the subject, let me just briefly touch on PWG. It seems like on YouTube, all of a sudden, it's kind of become not cool to like PWG. Back in 2009, they had a reputation. It was pretty hot at the time. Everyone was like, "Have you seen PWG? It's better than ROH. The cards are better, the matches are better, the crowds are awesome." But now all of a sudden, it's like it's not cool to like because there's no storylines, and people kind of see PWG as these spot fest or action-packed matches without any story and without any psychology, and basically just matches for the crowd to watch just to get off on. And so a lot of people have kind of gotten pretty negative on PWG. But, in my opinion, I don't think we should forget why we watch wrestling. I watch wrestling just to be entertained and, for it to take my mind off of whatever problems I'm having and, just to enjoy it. And so, if you still enjoy the product and you have fun watching it, I don't think there's anything wrong with liking PWG. I still think they're a great company. I still think they do a great job of, putting on super shows. They stack the cards from top to bottom with as much talent as they can, and that's something that I do appreciate. So, and if you haven't seen the card for PWG 8, definitely try to take a look at it. It looks like a tremendous show from top to bottom. So, yeah, definitely go to the website and check it out. I think that's ProWrestlingGuerrilla.com. So let's talk about this show. This is Card Subject to Change 3, and this is like their version of Unscripted. I believe the original title of the show is actually called Winning, which is kind of a weird title, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I think Chris Hero couldn't make the show. A couple of guys couldn't make the show, so the card had to be kind of switched around. But I can't remember. If you guys remember, tell me what the original main event or the original card was for the show. I actually like to know. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, let's get right down to it. This show is pretty good. It's not going to get a lot of hype. Hasn't gotten a lot of hype. At the end of the year, not a lot of people are probably going to be talking about this show, which is a shame because it was still really, really good. There's definitely some hidden gems on here. So let's just talk about the good stuff. I'll try to make this as quick as possible, like I said. So, first match I want to talk about is Willie Mack versus Roderick Strong. And this was, I'm going to say this was the match of the night, definitely. Just great stuff. Willie Mack is a really... he's a big black dude, but he could go though. He's really, really good. Every time Roderick chopped him or tried to punish him, Willie Mack would just hit back twice as hard. So this guy, Willie Mack, really brought the best out of Roderick Strong. These two guys just had a slugfest. I mean, every time Willie Mack did something on offense, it just, punished Roderick, and it really just meant something. He just really God, these two guys this is just a slugfest. This was great. This kind of reminded me of Roderick Strong and Carl Anderson from, I think it was Guerrilla Sans. God, I don't want to say the title of the show, but you remember what show I'm talking about. That awesome show from a couple years ago where Roderick and, Carl Anderson just had that really stiff match. I think this was even better than that, though. And, Willie Mack, he definitely reminds me of Samoa Joe. I would say he's probably the closest thing we've seen to Joe on the indies. So yeah, definitely check this match out. This match is awesome. So let's move on to Low Ki versus Akira Tozawa. A lot of people said this was disappointing, and I don't know. Now that I've heard several people say that they really were kind of disappointed by the match, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Now, while I'm on the subject of Low Ki, let's talk about Low Ki. Since he's come back to the indies from the WWE. I'm kind of going to say his performances have been somewhat disappointing. The match against Davey Richards, everyone was expecting that to be 5 stars, like the best thing we've seen next to Davey and Kenta. But honestly, it really, I can't really say it exceeded expectations. A lot of people found it disappointing. I think Truth Slayer didn't like it, so some people really didn't care for it. The match against Prince Devitt in New Japan, which took place on the East Coast. I was actually at that show live, and it was a good match, but I don't know. I just had higher expectations for it. It just seems like Low Ki just wrestling with the style that he wants to wrestle. He's not really, even though he was the first Ring of Honor champion, he doesn't really fit the mold as, the type of Ring of Honor guy that goes out there and just has these long, drawn out matches with a whole bunch of near falls and, overkill spots. I don't really think Low Ki is that guy. I see him as more of a, he's pretty much perfected the Japanese style. I would say he's more of a Japanese wrestler than an American wrestler, to tell you the truth. But I still like this match though. It definitely. I think a lot of people. I think Akira Tozawa really set the bar high with a lot of his previous matches with Hero and some of the other stuff that he had in Dragon Gate over the last couple months. But this is still great. A lot of people didn't like the part where Low-Ki got on the mic and said, "Holy shit, you're never gonna see that in the WWE." A lot of people didn't like that. I didn't have that much of a problem with it. I still thought this was. This was good. This is more of a fight. I like the strikes. I like the stiffness. I loved the finish. I loved everything about it. I really thought it was good. The crowd pretty much liked it. I mean, I wouldn't say it was the match of the night, but it was still a solid 4-star match. I really enjoyed it. So next up we have Johnny Goodtime versus Ryan Taylor. These are two PWG homegrown talents that they pretty much have a tough time, and they're not really on the verge of breaking out. It's going to take some time to build these guys up. I mean, PWG eventually, I think they need to take a risk and let maybe Hero, Claudio, or Generico, or one of the guys that's in the main event, drop down and kind of put them over and give them some time in the ring with one of the established guys. I don't really see it happening anytime soon. There's too much at stake financially to kind of shuffle up the cards and have the bigger stars feuding with the the homegrown guys. But I don't know. This is good. Goodtime and Ryan Taylor. The offense is really exciting. I mean, I thought these two guys, they look young, they look fresh. The crowd, the crowd was kind of, the crowd was into it, but they kind of gave the match the attitude, like, yeah, what you guys are doing are okay, but let's just move on to the next match. But still, I thought these guys delivered a nice, exciting, athletic match. The PWG just let them do their thing, and I thought it was fine. Give it about a solid 3.25 stars, which is not a bad rating at all. Next up, we have Claudio Castagnoli, the PWG champion, taking on Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan is finally cashing in on his title shot, which he won at the Battle of Los Angeles. And I'm not a huge Joey Ryan fan. A lot of people were really down on this match. The general consensus about this match is that it was too slow, it was too methodical, really just got too much time. I would agree. Like in the beginning of the match, like I was really bored by it. I was like, man, fuck Joey Ryan. Why am I even watching this match? Because I've never been a huge Joey Ryan fan. He's not he's not your typical indie guy that a lot of people watch the indies for. But I'll give this match credit. It was good. It really got interesting. Joey Ryan was definitely the aggressor. He really he actually pedigreed Claudio, then went after his arm. Claudio was wrestling the match with only one arm, and then it got awesome. And then Claudio got aggressive. He tried to just go for the kill. Just really good storytelling here. I really enjoyed it. I really thought this was a exciting match. The crowd was definitely into it. It definitely a little bit better than I expected. I'm going to give it a solid 3.75 stars. A nice title defense for Claudio Castagnoli. I believe this was his. I guess this is his second title defense. So let's move on to the main event. We have El Generico and Ricochet taking on the Young Bucks for the PWG Championships. The Young Bucks won the DDT4 tournament, and now they're the tag team champions. And, we've seen Generico take on the Young Bucks in the past so many times. I think the problem is we've just seen Generico mix it up with the Bucks, so many times. It's just becoming a little bit, this is pretty much what you would expect. That's pretty much what it is. We've seen Generico team up with Kevin Steen to take on the Bucks. We've seen him team up with Yuma Tornado. We've seen him team up with Chuck Taylor. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Now he's teaming up with Ricochet. Generico and Ricochet had that really competitive match last year. A lot of people thought it was a spot fest, but I thought it was really fun. A lot of people don't like Ricochet. They think he's kind of a showboat, but you can't deny his athleticism though. And as you would expect, you put these two guys in the ring with the Young Bucks, you get a really exciting match. I thought it was fun. It really Ricochet looked awesome. Once again, the guy's just a hell of an athlete. The Young Bucks played great heels again. They kept on commenting on we're doing this for Dixie Carter, and Generico, very reliable. Like I've said a million times, he looked like his normal self. I mean, the match was great, but the crowd wasn't going ape shit like they were for the typical Young Bucks match. But just a solid 4-star match, a really fun tag match. I enjoyed it. Probably not for everybody. A lot of people are going to complain about the showboating and the spots and all that stuff, but I had fun with this. Bottom line, so definitely check out the show. You get a lot of really good matches. A lot of good stuff on it. That's PWG. Card subject to change 3. You could actually buy this at ROHWrestling.com. That's where I actually bought it at. So maybe you could place it in an order with the next sale at the website. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Hope you enjoyed the video, and that's it. All right.